Good old boy, we're all the same. Ain't no way we'll ever change. Ain't no harm by the things we do, or the trouble that we get into. Out in a while, here once in a while, we can't help it, it's just our style. Good old boys, it's all we'll ever be. I got an enemy about 6 weeks overdue. I got caught with a truck full of bootleg out-of-state booze. Knocked my wife's diamond ring last June. Bought me an Alcor Devon roof. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys. Good old boys, we're all the same. Ain't no way we'll ever change. Ain't no harm in the things we do, or the trouble that we get into.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wade and Carter Show. Ash, Brent, late start, trying to get some audio issues sorted out. They're good. Everybody's good. Good morning, everybody on Facebook, YouTube's Magic, the No Bull Network. We're happy you're all here on this Monday. Wade and Carter weather brought to you by the great folks at AT Deerland Hayfeed and Ranch Services.
72 degrees in Victoria, Texas, under cloudy skies, heading to a high today of 85.
Stephanie Connie, Scott Tomko, Greg Garcia on the podium this morning. Welcome to the show, everybody else. We're glad you're here. Seeing a few more people showing up on YouTube. Seems to be the more reliable of our online streams right now. I don't know why that is, but
The platform of YouTube is better than Facebook.
It seems to be.
YouTube, though, part of it is there's no algorithms, right? I mean, YouTube isn't buffeting what we're saying and deciding if it's worthy or any of that.
No, but if you're on YouTube, like it and subscribe and share it because
That'd
it does.
be great.
And if you make a comment, apparently, if you capitalize the first letter, I read this, that it helps your YouTube algorithms, believe it.
You might get like 28 cents
You might.
someday.
I have no idea.
I took some clothes about a year ago. I don't remember the name of the place, or I would give them a plug. I really don't, but I took a whole bunch of clothes. It's a resale deal. I think I took about $4 million worth of retail value stuff down, which, of course, is worth $8.
Absolutely.
And every now and then I'll get a Venmo. So-and-so sent you $3.28. It's like my percentage of the deal. And I'm like,
For what?
bless her heart, she's going broke.
Deal of your clothes?
Yeah. It's like it was an agreed upon. There's a percentage.
Consignment thing?
Yeah, it's like that.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's more like I donated some stuff and I get a cut if it ever sells. But it's like goodwill with hope. Hope and goodwill. But I don't ever get anything. Yeah. Many of you reaching out, obviously here too. I have no HIPAA restrictions, but we'll respect the privacy of Brother Gary. Brother Gary Moses is battling some health issues. We are more than optimistic. Ash has had a conversation with the brother man. The brother man is...
I talked to him this morning. Says he's hoping to be out of the hospital either later today or tomorrow.
Yeah, he's having to do, some tests and things. But I'm not hiding anything from you. I'm just telling you that the brother man is fine. He needs to rest. We all know that. He's everywhere. He's everywhere all the time. I saw somebody over the weekend. No, I was told of someone over the weekend, and this is absurd and it's idiotic, and that's why I bring it up, because it's the absurd and the idiotic that makes the show interesting. Somebody put on Facebook that, like, we need to know what's going on with the brother. No, you don't. No, you don't.
No.
If the brother man is constipated, he doesn't need to talk to you about Metamucil. It is none of your business.
And if he's not, he doesn't need to talk to you about Pepto-Bismol.
That's right. None of it is any of your business. You're not entitled to any news about the brother man. The brother man does not owe you an explanation. That said, he would want you to know that he's resting well, and we're not. This is not a precursor to some big announcement. I'm being as honest with you as always am and choose to be today. The brother man is resting. You know, he's over 70. He's worn out, and he needs to catch up.
Yep.
So he's doing that. We all have that feeling. I had that feeling after this weekend.
And he's not, you know, it's not one of those, oh, he's resting comfortably.
No,
waiting for his time. It's
No,
nothing like that.
no,
But you
it's
know,
not.
the rumors will start.
No, and there's no, you know, there's a million punchlines but it's just not. There's nothing. There's nothing but I think nothing but upside for the brother. He's doing fine.
Yep.
You know, we talk about schedules. We were here. You know, I got 5:30 Friday, and then Friday evening we end up in Corpus for a ball game. Get home at midnight. Go to bed about 1. Up at 6. Have to be in Spring at 9 for baseball games. Select baseball. And I have a real problem with select baseball because I witnessed it again this weekend. I don't know if you're one of these parents or not. There are kids that belong in Little League. And then there are kids that need to go ahead and focus on the clarinet. You know what I mean? At some point, and it's not, I mean, Ryland's 13. He's been playing on a 14U team for 2 years. And there are kids on this team who at 13 and 14, I mean, some of them are borderline freshmen in high school that just simply cannot play baseball.
Well, let me tell you two things,
Please.
since I don't have a kid involved.
Thank you.
You have delusional parents paying however much a month for your kid to be
A
on
lot.
this team.
A
So
lot.
they're not going to admit that their kid's not good enough to be on that team.
Right.
And you have owners of select teams, and I'm not saying that this is the case with this team.
Oh, they'll take the
but
money.
they won't tell your
Sure.
kid that they're not good enough because they know what'll happen. You'll take that kid to the team across the street because you're not.
Because you're willing to pay.
Yes.
It's kind of like if you have a bar, you want to have the big catering job, the big party, but you need the regulars. You need the regulars that come in every day and have 5 or 6 beers and go home. Well,
that's it.
we got a bunch of regulars on Ryland's team, and it's just so frustrating when the basic stuff. And quick aside, folks. So you got a guy on second base and 1 out.
Yep.
And the guy on second, there's a well hit ball, and the guy running from second has to stop because he don't get hit by the ball, right? But it's a perfect line drive right to the shortstop, who just catches it and goes, "Boy, you're dumb." Tags our guy. He's out. I mean, where are you going? We were down about a touchdown at the time. The guy that could score the winning run was like in the 3rd grade, and here we are. My guy's breaking on contact with
Blue
1
Jays
out.
did it in the World Series, remember?
Yeah, and that guy's
And that's
on
why they didn't win the
waivers.
World Series.
There you have it.
Yeah.
Good morning, Mom.
But
Tommy
that's-
Kingston says, we're still looking for a child with cancer for a hunt, an all expenses paid hunt. Now, I think, was it H.R. Mallory? Somebody reached out to me and said they had some names for him. Did they get a hold of Tommy K? I don't know.
The hunt was in Nebraska, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it's all like
Yeah, I
like,
know.
none of
Yeah,
that's
no,
a worry.
yeah, no,
Like,
I know.
let's just
Exactly.
go.
Yeah. So if anybody knows anybody, yeah, I don't know about the red tape. Tammy Keeling says, have you tried the Make-A-Wish Foundation? I don't know if they might be so politically
Oh,
correct
yeah.
that they wouldn't send a kid on a hunt.
But then again, they might not be.
Yeah,
I
I don't
mean,
know.
you know.
Yeah, I don't know. Just doesn't well, but I guess they try to set up a kid for whatever they want to do. So if they have a kid who wants to go hunting, that would probably do it.
Junior Samples 100% believes, says, I put my boys in T-ball and Little League to be able to play with other kids and learn good sportsmanship, not to get scholarships. And I agree 100%. 100%. We did that. We saw, in fact, my son Kyle grew up in Little League and all that, and we finally started playing some travel ball early in his high school years, and that's when he really kind of blossomed. But we saw with Ryland early, of course, Dawn and I coached him for years. He developed to a level that he needed to go, you know, to the next level. Tammy Keeling adds, Sandlot baseball is so much better. There's no doubt about it. When you say Sandlot, to me, I think about get your buddies and go
Show
play
up at the
pickup
park,
baseball.
yeah.
But here's the difference. In today's era, we were talking with one of the coaches yesterday, and like I said, this is select ball. These are supposedly the elite kids. of their age group, and the coach said to our coach, he goes, "Oh, don't worry, coach. My kids won't be cheering for their teammates either." You know, they were laughing about it. I got guys on base, and my guys are just sitting on their thumbs. And he said, "Well, you know, there'll be no cheering from my dugout either." I said, "Yeah, they'd rather text each other." He goes, "Yeah, that's true. They would text it."
My kid needs to play select sports so they can get a scholarship to go to college. You know, if you put that $1,000 to $1,500 a month you're paying for that select team,
Yeah,
you would pay for that kid's college. There's no scholarship needed. And they would probably be able to go to any college they wanted to because you'd have a lot of money.
absolutely.
That's the irony of it, is they put all this time and effort and money into something because they want their kid to get a scholarship. And unless you're going D1, for the most part, a full ride doesn't exist.
Yep.
And unless you're smart, you're not getting an athletic scholarship to go to a D3 because they don't give out athletic
Boy,
scholarships.
D3 just means it ought to be D and a dollar sign. D3 is expensive. It's where you just don't want to let your sports dreams die. But, you know, yeah, I agree. Make-A-Wish Foundation is incredible.
I agree.
And with that said, they may be too woke to send somebody on a hunt, but that doesn't mean they don't do a bunch of incredible things.
So yeah, I don't, you know, and select ball came because somebody got mad that their kid didn't make a team, so they started a team, and I'm simplifying it, but that's basically what happened.
Yeah, you are really simplifying it because there is a place for select ball. There are kids, the best players that both play at colleges and that get drafted all play select ball. In fact, the majority of recruiting is done at select ball tournaments, not high school baseball games, because I can watch the best catcher from this team. I go to a high school game. They've got a catcher I like. Wow, that shortstop's pretty good. And the other team has a pitcher that I like. Or I can go to Houston for a select tournament and see all those kids on the same team all in one place.
Or on
That's where
different
they go.
teams and all in the same place.
That's where they
exactly.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but it's always, but they still say, well, drafted out of this high school because, you know, they're trying to, at least on the baseball side, keep appearances up.
Yep.
But it's become a racket
Oh, there's no
and a
doubt.
business like any other. And if you're honestly evaluating all the kids and you tell someone's kid they're not good enough, and there's an errant entitlement. Parents now, because they're paying so much money a month, they believe because they're paying that, their kids should be on the field.
Yep. That's right.
But if you don't win as the select team coach, operator, nobody wants to come play for your select team.
It seems like winning is not really that important to our coaches. Tommy Kingston says contact number if you want to call Tommy, if you can help find a child with cancer and a chaperone and a parent that wants to go, all expenses paid. 361-645-4743. We invite you in the No Bull Network. If you know of someone in Kennedy, Goliad, Cuero,
Garden City.
child with cancer that might want to go on a big time trip where there's no expense out of their pocket, show up with your clothes.
Parent gets to
and
go with you too, so it's not,
Yeah.
or with the kid. It's not just the kid going off by themselves.
We absolutely have vetted this foundation, and they are great,
Yeah.
great people.
And everything's included. If you don't have a gun or the right gun,
I don't think you even take a gun.
Yeah.
Already?
No,
No.
the kid does not have to know how to hunt, and the hunting is just the venue to spend, the avenue to spend time with the child.
Sure.
It's fantastic.
and finish up the select ball thing, as Johnny Houghton says, sounds like hockey in which they're playing all year round now, and it's big business.
Yeah.
But the reality of it is the percentage of kids that play a sport that go D1,
1%.
not even.
Yeah.
I think 1% of all kids that play a sport go to play the sport in college at some level. The number that go to D1 And then you factor in those that actually go to play pro sports. It's like 10% of that 1% that play D1 college go to play pro sports at any level. I'm not talking the ones that go to the NFL or the major leagues. That's those that languish in the minors and various independent leagues or sub-minor leagues in sports. Football really doesn't have it, but baseball, hockey, soccer, things like that. The percentage that actually make it to the MLB, NHL, NFL, MLS, it's even smaller than that. You're almost better off buying a lottery ticket with all that money you're spending on your kid every weekend.
Monty Howard says there's a better lesson, and he talks about his daughters. I got to thinking about the place that you don't see the conflict is like select volleyball. Select volleyball, when you go to a girls, when they put that kind of all-star team together to play volleyball, boy, if you're not good, you stand out real quick on the volleyball court. I think a problem with select baseball is it does require financial commitment and substantial resources. And if you think about it, you know, like those Tom's shoes, for every pair you buy, they send a pair.
Yeah.
It would be nice if you could put together a league where you provided, for lack of the right phrase, an inner city kid a chance to really develop, because we use it for reps. We get 2 practices a week and a tournament right now once a month. It's the fall league. It's not like it's this brutal baseball schedule. I do believe baseball is a seasonal game. I don't believe you should play year-round. John Schmaltz, I think it was Schmaltzy, who said, if your kid's having Tommy John surgery at 15, you're a bad parent. I agree with that. It says, yes, Peter McNally says, they're building all these indoor baseball hitting facilities. Is there money in that business? There can be. You know, it's all supply and demand. If you've got one in Houston, chances are good you can pull people around. But if you've got, you know, if you've got one in Bloomington, chances are not. Tammy Williams says grandson was playing on a 7 years old, playing on a 9 to 10-year-old team. They have a trial for Little League, and coaches pluck the best. His team was undefeated. They purposely do not let him play ball all year because of his this age. It doesn't matter. He's already good and doesn't need more time. That's awesome.
I think and this is purely observational because I don't have data to back it up, but I think a lot of the injuries that happen now are because kids don't play sports, multiple sports. So if their knee moves in a way that their body's not used to it moving, it has no muscle memory, no muscle growth build
Right.
to adjust and support that
Well, it's
knee.
like cross training, right? I mean,
Yeah.
if you play football, you enhance muscles that help you in basketball and baseball. Torn Bells, I couldn't agree more. And there's no sarcasm in what he's saying. He says, I've always said that as a select volleyball dad, that a travel weekend is $1,000. When you throw in,
well, we got to stay at this hotel, and if you try to save money,
that's
you
where
get,
the team
you get
stays.
ostracized. You
gotta, yeah, you don't stay at the Hampton. You stay with everybody at the Marriott because that's where they're going to be. And the coaches call a meeting in the lobby at 6 a.m. You know, by the way, you're paying for their hotel. So yeah, no, it's but all that said, I wasn't complaining about the challenges of select ball, as just to say, much like the brother man, I have to get back to work to get some rest. You know, unbelievable. And of course, we go out, and if you've ever been involved in any kind of select sport, there's winning matters. And we go out and drop 2 games on Saturday. So, of course, we have the 8 o'clock start across the county, and I mean across Harris County. So, but it was great. We got to see Kendall and
well, the good thing
Marvin,
about the 8 o'clock start, you lose that when you're on your way home.
and we were home by noon. Amen. You know, I did see a kid, tragic, and I don't know. I hope that it turned out okay, but there was that mom that was there watching her kid, and I don't know where dad was, and anyway, the little boy was maybe 3,
Probably pulling overtime so kid can play select.
no doubt. maybe 3 kids climbing the wooden bleachers, and the top rung is about my height. Kid goes off, face plants on the concrete. I mean, it sounded like an egg cracking when this kid hit the ground, but it was dome first.
I won't do it again.
Fortunately, one of our moms is an ER nurse and spent some time with them. Good morning, John Anderson. Let's take a quick break. We'll change gears. We got to talk about the Fighting Texas Aggies in a minute. Palace Bingo, where friends meet friends. Palace, get in and have a great time. You can go in, play bingo. It's not expensive. Your money goes to support 7 local charities, including Warriors Weekend. It's a great time.
Are we looking at December 11th? Is that the date we picked?
I think that's the date we picked, December 11th. December 11th is a Thursday, second Thursday in December, and it gets us done. Not that we need to be done, but it gets us done before the holidays. We'd love to have as many people as we can.
Well, we got some feedback that the 18th was going to be way too busy for a lot of people. So
Absolutely. USA Concrete Coatings. I visited with Elaine Garcia last week. They're chomping at the bit to help you level your foundation, to fill cracks in your driveway. They can go underneath and lift your driveway and seal the cracks. They can even put down a polyurethane coat that won't crack, stick, peel, or fade. Call them, 578-HOME. Charlie Garcia will come out and give you a quote. Veracruz Restaurant, it's Monday. Folks, we need to get back into Veracruz. Let's get busy and get back into Veracruz. Everybody supports Veracruz. Everybody loves their food. Go show them. Get in. The economy's doing well. Go.
despite what the media tries to tell you,
There's no doubt about it. Yeah. Go in there and get after it. Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Let Allen be your go-to tow-to. You got a problem, you got a big rig that's dumped over. If you're anywhere in this region, you know to call Allen's. If you're driving a car, you need all the way down to a jump start. Call Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. White Trash Services, for all your trash needs in the counties. If you can hear our voice, you are a prime customer of White Trash Services. Dial 550-1826.
you are in their footprint.
Absolutely. And they want your business. Paravita Wellness, get in and get healthy. I made the commitment 2 years ago to use 1 meal a day from Paravita Wellness, and it kept me from gaining the holiday weight. It really did. Just don't give in during the holidays.
I saw a meme. You cut like 500 calories a day. That allows you to eat like 25,000 calories on Thanksgiving
Day.
if you start today.
Yeah. One of the great jokes, I lost 20 pounds. It was like throwing 2 deck chairs off the Queen Mary. So, yeah, I recommend Paravita Wellness. Get in and get healthy. Got an event coming up, Bunny Pounds. Tell
tomorrow
them about
night.
it.
She'll be here tomorrow night at the Lawrence Haven, the venue, right next to Tianita on Sam Houston Drive.
Yeah,
6:30 tomorrow night. Bunny Pounds will be doing a meet and greet. She is organizing America Reads the Bible. It's 1 week, 1 nation, 1 book. As the country celebrates its 250th birthday next year, she has organized an historic Bible reading, ambitious Bible reading. It will be read from front to back for 1 week, all day long. What's the Bible? 1,000 pages, roughly?
I don't know. It's
Somewhere
a bunch. I know that there's a systematic way to read the Bible through in a year, just with a little thoughtful Bible study, and it's a lot of reading. It's a lot of reading.
So is the left going to go crazy this morning because the USS Gerald Ford has now arrived in the Caribbean to monitor all the garbage that's going on with Venezuela and I guess be ready?
Look, there's a much bigger game being played here with Venezuela. Venezuela has a tyrannical government, and it is funded in large part by these drug sales. And at the end of the day,
and by terrorism.
What Trump is doing is wrenching down on them, and it's going to force a regime change in Venezuela. Yes, we have our biggest carrier in the region, and as Trump said, well, it's got to be somewhere. It's got to be somewhere.
It doesn't just sit.
We don't just take it to Virginia and park it at the dock.
They don't put it up on blocks so the tires don't rot.
Yeah, it's got to be somewhere. So what you're seeing is, if we can essentially cut off the head of the snake, we can save the region. The idea being that you keep sending drugs to our country so that you can get paid and fund your terroristic
Endeavors.
communistic
Well, because there's
regime.
the interesting thing that I learned last week. Hezbollah and Venezuela, they're in bed together,
Oh, yeah.
folks.
Yeah. And they all want to destroy us from the inside out. So at the end of the day, you just simply,
But where will we get our crack from if they take it away?
there you have it.
Good. Let them do it.
There you have it.
Boy, interesting news out of the United Kingdom over the weekend. They're now cracking down on their asylum rules. They're going to
And-
change things up.
They're always one click ahead
Yeah.
of us, right? They're always one click ahead of us. And they're saying, hey,
Because
look.
they've seen what we're doing currently with asylum
Yeah.
is doing to their country.
Now, listen to what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to read it verbatim. What source are we on here?
Let me get that.
See if you can tell what source we're on.
Yahoo News.
We're on Yahoo News. The United Kingdom's Labour, with a U, Labour government is launching a major crackdown on asylum rules, with Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood, great old British family, warning that illegal immigration, illegal migration is tearing the country apart and eroding public support for the system. So a dude named Mahmood is telling you, hey man, these illegals are killing us. I mean, you've got to learn from this.
So if you claim asylum under the new measures and you're granted asylum, you're going to have to wait 20 years before you can apply for permanent settlement, or basically our permanent residency equivalency, instead of what is now 5 years.
Now, does that seem unfair? You may go, well, that seems unreasonable. Well, then don't go there.
Their refugee status will be reviewed regularly to ensure that their home countries are not deemed safe for return. So if things ever change over those 20 years in their home country that they've fled because of political or religious persecution,
Absolutely.
and it's now safe for them to return, guess what?
You go back.
You go back. You've
Nobody
been here for
sees-
asylum.
People don't want to see the absurdity. It's that deal of doing the same thing over and over again and wondering why we think you're insane. You want to come here from another country. You want to continue to wave that country's flag in our country. You want to 100% not only maintain, but promote your old culture in our country. And then you feel like you're being discriminated against if we don't educate your kids in your native tongue and all that. It is garbage. Come here, assimilate, get a job, and contribute.
And under the new plan, housing and financial aid will no longer be guaranteed and will not be allowed for those who are allowed to work under asylum but choose not to. So they're coming here for a free ride, claiming asylum, and they don't want to work, they don't want to contribute, even though England is giving them the opportunity to flee the persecution, because they're going there for the opportunities they say don't exist in their homeland, and then they don't take advantage of those
And take
opportunities.
advantage of the
Yeah.
of the system.
Yeah. And
Now-
the Labor Party is basically our Democrat Party. The conservatives think that this should be even quicker, happening quicker. And anyway, the Labor people saying that this is too hard line of a stance on asylum seekers.
The interesting thing is that as the years have gone on, I mean, like, my position has matured to where I'm all about. I've got zero problem with the Mexican flag or with folks that live here that are of Mexican descent that still root for the Mexico soccer team. Jose Altuve going and playing for his native country in baseball doesn't offend me at all. But if you come here from a porta potty like Guatemala or Honduras, and you want to start waving your flag and telling me that I need to do something special for you because you blessed me with your presence, go back and make Honduras a good country. Go back and take what you learned here and make Honduras a better place.
They never go back and try to fix things with all their wealth relative. Right? They just stay here and complain about what this country hasn't done for them while giving them the chance
Load them up.
to do what they're doing.
Load them up. And if they're here illegally, load them up. And like I said last week, you pointed out that the ICE agents had caught a guy who was wanted for murder or who had been convicted of murder in his homeland,
El Salvador.
wherever.
This is up in Lavaca County, Hallettsville.
And this is right here. This is in your backyard. This is in our listening area. Guy had been convicted of murder in El Salvador and was living here. And the ICE and an MS-13, I mean, yes, he's an MS-13 gang member. I'm sure he's just trying to get a better life, maybe try to apply over at the brewery, go to work for Shiner. I mean, BS. Load that dude up and get him out. And if it takes 10 of your friends, acquaintances, concrete levelers, roofers, whatever, if it takes 10 of them being targeted, detained, whatever, to get rid of that guy, price of freedom. Get rid of that guy. Now, is there a better way to do it? Maybe. I hope so. Is it easier?
Vet him better at the border. Don't let him in.
But you know who didn't vet him for a whole term? The Biden administration. Didn't vet him. And when they vetted him, they said, now, you shouldn't be here. You be sure and show up in 90 days for this hearing. That dude's running a crew in Hallettsville.
Absolutely.
Speaking of throwing money at a situation, how about the fighting Texas Aggies over the weekend? We have mixed reviews. I don't know. I mean, the guy was already making how much money? Seven. Making
10.5
$7
if
million
they
bucks.
won a national championship.
Yeah, he makes 10.5 if they win the Natty, and the Aggies felt like they needed to give him. They felt like they needed to give him an extension. They give him 6 more years at $10 million per, which is 100% their prerogative. That's fine. If that's what they want to do, that's great. I don't think the guy was going anywhere. There was concern, and this is the reason they did it. They didn't pay him to reward him. They paid him to keep him. And that's okay. That's capitalism. But they were afraid that he might leave and go to Penn State. He's got some connections to that area. I think he was from New Jersey.
From
or
up
something.
that way, yeah.
So he was considering, his agent for sure floated out, boy, it sure would be nice if Mike Elko got the call to go to Penn State. The difference is, I'll say it, the A&M job is a better job in the current environment than Penn State.
Absolutely.
It's a better job. They got better facilities. They got a bigger stadium. They got more fans. They got the Michael Irvins. They got the Troy Aikmans. I sound like Jerry Jones.
They got more NIL money.
They got more money, and they play in a better conference. The SEC is a better conference.
And in
than
better
the Big
weather.
Ten. And in better weather. And not in the Rust Belt.
Only time Elko's going to have to put on a jacket is if he goes to play up north somewhere.
Yeah, if he ever has to play Georgia, that'll never happen. But I look at it, and the Aggies came out on Saturday just as the ink was drying. They're blowing to dry the ink, and the Aggies get down 30-3 in the first half.
Well, by the time they signed the termination contract of the state trooper that was with them on that trip,
Right.
and I mean the ink dried on that about the same time the ink was drying on Elko's extension.
No doubt. John Paul Hall says, can we talk wins and not contracts? 100% agree, and I know you're being sarcastic, but I can take you back 1 decade and show you, well, 2 decades.
Had they not won that game, would they have extended him?
That's a great question. Had they decided that, well, after you beat South Carolina, which is a gimme, and Samford will extend you, would they have extended him after that game on Saturday? You may say yes. I say, how do you fall behind?
It might not have been announced until today or tomorrow.
27 points to South Carolina. But
Right.
hats
You don't show up
off.
to play the first half.
There is absolutely nothing to take away from the amazing starts. Their first 10-win start since 2012, in which they had a Heisman Trophy winner. I guess it's arguable they could have a Heisman Trophy candidate now. I think it's fair to say it was done before the game. You're correct. There's nothing to say.
Would they have announced it if they lost?
Yeah. And I told my Aggie friends, I go, don't worry, they're going to come back. The unexplainable is happening. Aggies, get the ball. They've got a 1st and goal from the 6, and they end up running 3 plays and miss a field goal. I mean, it's impossible stuff. Their quarterback goes back, and as he's getting sacked, he throws the ball and ends up being, because his arm got hit, it ends up being like a lateral, and a big rumbling, stumbling defensive tackle picks it up and scores. It was impossible things that happened to the Aggies in the first half.
But Craig Elko has shown that he's done what he has done all year long. He's and I've talked about it before, he's the master of adjustments at the half.
Yeah, he really does a great job. And I've got zero problem with the extension. I think he could be their coach of the
Mike
future.
Elko, not Craig.
Mike Elko. Craig Elko. Who's Craig
I
Elko?
think he's a coach too, but he sucks. No, I
You
don't,
know,
I don't
you know
know.
who you're thinking of? Craig Elo,
Maybe.
the old basketball player. No, but Mike Elko is a great guy, and I'll tell you what I like about him. He's humble. It's overused cliche, but he's a lunch pail guy. No doubt he's got a big lunch pail, but he's a lunch pail guy.
Yeah, there's no Craig Elko.
No, he is a lunch pail guy that shows up and, there you go. HR Mallory says, and HR, stay close. We may need you to call us, HR, 894-4020. Says they would have announced it because you play the whole game and you have to play the whole game. I agree 100%. In the same breath that I say you got to be a bonehead to be down 27 at the half to a team that can't play, you also have to be a mastermind to come back and win that game. If you're going to give Elko the blame for the ineptitude or ineptness of the Aggies in the first half, you have to give him credit for their superlative play in the second half. Fair? I mean, or you have to say the players didn't play and then the players played. The Aggies clearly with a lot more talent.
Although I can't put on a coach that a guy missed a chip shot field goal
Right.
and Reed doesn't recognize the fact that he should have tucked that ball instead of trying to throw a pass as he's getting sacked.
I
on his
still
10-yard
contend, pure athleticism aside, I still contend that when the Aggies, if they lose, it'll be on the heels of Marcel Reed. I throw you over then to the game where Texas was exposed. Texas was shown to not be anywhere near as good as Georgia. I was overwhelmed at how fast, how the speed with which Georgia plays the game. And Georgia, Kirby Smart outcoached Steve Sarkisian. Kirby Smart calling an onside kick while he's ahead. Brilliant.
And all Sark did.
And
shake his head.
the idea that Texas has guys out there who, can't just feel the ball and fall on the ground. That Texas whether Texas deserved to lose. Okay. Georgia deserved to win that game. Now, I will tell you, and I think it's objectively, and I don't think it's sour grapes. I think Georgia would just motorboat the Aggies. I think they would beat them by 2 or 3 scores. And it's not a put down to A&M. A&M has made great strides, and they may actually win the whole thing. And I'll be the first one to, if they win it, I'll put on an Aggie shirt for you guys. Be thrilled to have it. I will buy the T-shirt that has a 2025 national championship on it. I mean, it could be a collector item. I will buy one. The last one I've got was in 1939, and the silk screening is really, really washing off. But I think the Aggies are as good as they've ever been, and the difference to me is I think that they are great at the coaching level. No, JP, I just don't believe that the SEC.
I don't think it's any more of a grind
It's
than
not
any
any more
other
of a grind
conference.
than any other conference. If I take you over and I show you Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, and Indiana, not even in that order, Ohio State, Indiana, Michigan, and then Penn State. Clayton Hill, thank you. If you buy me that shirt, yes, sir, I will wear it. I'll tell you that at the very top of the Big Ten, they're just as good as Georgia, Alabama, they're just as good. But then A&M, those 4 schools over there are just as good as the best 4 in the SEC. Where you have a problem in the SEC is nobody really wants to talk about the little dirty secret that South Carolina, traditionally, historically, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Arkansas has been there 25 seasons, never won a championship, not even a conference championship. The schools that suck in the SEC suck. Patrick Strauss, always the Aggie. I'm being gracious today, but I'll let it go. You've earned it. Gloat. Feel free to gloat. He says, "Oh, you mean just like they did to the Horns? I predicted double digits, but not 25." Yes, I mean Georgia was clearly a better football team. I'm not like my Aggie friends. We didn't run out of time. If we were still playing, it would be 946-17 at this moment. That's what it would be. So
True story.
Georgia's a better football club. There's no getting around it. Now, the next time that somebody's better than you, just own it. Don't tell me how that you got screwed by the refs or your schedule was too tough or we had to play at night on the road. Nobody wants to hear that. Either you win or you lose, and that's the way it is. Texas lost. That's the way it is.
Objectively, this weekend, the best football team I saw on the field anywhere was Georgia.
No, I don't think
My
there's
opinion.
any doubt. And I did watch Ohio State just like they were like a kitten to UCLA. That was just like embarrassing. Yeah. No, I don't agree, P. Strauss.
After watching this weekend,
No.
I'm on Team Brent here.
No.
I don't believe a 3-loss Texas team deserves to be in the playoffs based on what happened.
They won't be.
With Georgia, because if you want to compete with a team that's 4th in the football playoff rankings, you've got to show up and play better than getting
That's
your
right.
clown stomp 25 points to that team when you're ranked in the top, 10 in the
Yeah.
college football playoff? No.
And I'll tell you why, Patrick. It's not fair. It's not fair because I think the Aggies are absolutely worthy, but the national media doesn't put enough value in the Aggie program. It's not like we're going to beat Ohio State on the road. Then they're like, well, they just beat Ohio State. You got to let them in. If we beat the Aggies, the Main Street media is going to go, oh, well, we knew the glow would come off. They're the Aggies. It's the end of the year. They'll fold up. The media is always on our side. There's no getting around it. Only because you need somebody to be good from the South, and historically, it's been Texas. So the media does want it. I've never shied away from. It's kind of like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and ride this being white thing a little bit longer. It seems to work pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and be white. So, yeah, there's no doubt that the Horns get some love just for being Texas. But it's not enough this year. They're not good enough to be in the playoff. They don't deserve to be in the playoff with 3 losses.
Nope.
They don't.
I agree.
But I did
until this weekend.
I do think Texas will beat A&M, partly because you're playing in Austin at night. It's part of it.
And you're coming off a week against Samford.
Yeah, I just hope that nobody gets hurt. I hope the Aggies have their best opportunity to win it all. I really do. And I hope they get to play Georgia along the way.
Yes, Jonathan Williams, Alabama's in the South, but you know what he means.
Yeah, Jonathan, you know what I'm saying.
The media needs a team in Texas to be
the Southwest. Let's call it that way. Who do you have below Oklahoma and west of Texas? You're going to watch New Mexico State. They're trying to engage the whole country with their ratings, and they do it every year. When I noticed it, Dave Campbell's football magazine has traveled all over now, but it's crazy. I'll be in College Station, and you walk in, and there's an Aggie on the cover. I'll be in Austin and walk in, there's a Longhorn on the cover.
Well, yeah.
It didn't used to be that way.
Well, because they couldn't print them that quickly.
But he used to make a stand. He would say, it literally would say, it's Texas. And you go into College State, it's A&M, because they know that the fans want to grab what bolsters their opinions. I'll just tell you that if this Aggie team, if they fall behind, and I don't think it's possible for them to do so, number one, I don't think that Texas is capable of scoring 30 points in the first half against A&M. But if they get behind 30-3 against Texas, they're not coming back. It will not be the biggest comeback. That's the point.
No, I agree. I don't think they can.
No. Texas
I don't-
defense looked good. Georgia's just great.
Yeah, they're fast. I mean, their defensive line was just overpowering. But I will say this: college football, as much as they rushed to get to 4 major conferences, I don't think they realized. And case in point to what you said about needing UT to be ranked higher,
Right.
because at least when the Pac-12 was arguably the weakest of the 5 conferences, you still had Oregon dominating everybody, right? And Oregon State once in a while, or Washington State would make sort of a Cinderella run and get the country kind of, champion
Right.
that underdog. But moving into the big conferences has not helped USC, UCLA, Arizona State, consolidating the former Pac-12 schools into the Big 12 and the Big 10, and Stanford and California into the ACC, make sense, has not helped college football, nor has it helped those schools become competitive. At least when the Pac-12 existed, they still had a path to the college football playoffs if they had a good year, because they could win the conference and sneak in, or they could be second in the conference and probably ranked high enough to sneak in a 12-team playoff now, because they'd be ranked behind Oregon. But it has been terrible for what at one point was the premier conference in all of college sports.
Yeah.
It's terrible to see.
No doubt. And I think the SEC overall is highly overrated. I do. It's just the teams that are at the bottom of the SEC. I can't help it that Vanderbilt won some games. Vanderbilt is like Rice.
Not sure they would have if they didn't have a quarterback in his 8th year of college.
Yeah, well, yeah, he played a couple years for the Jets and then came back. Yeah, there's no getting around it.
Probably playing on a better team now than he would be if he was playing on the Jets. Real quick before we move on, Grey Cup half minute. Saskatchewan Roughriders beat the Montreal Alouettes 25-17 to win the 112th Grey Cup last night in Winnipeg.
That and did the Texans win yesterday? Cody, can you tell me? Throw in the fact that the Dallas Cowboys played tonight on their way to going 9-7-1
against Atlanta. Is that
They're
right?
playing Atlanta played.
Oh, we play the Raiders. That's who we play.
Yeah. And the
Texans
did
beat the
win.
Titans 16-13. It was a barn burner.
It was a
over
really
very, very
boring
bad
game.
one-win Tennessee Titans team.
A really boring game. But the difference is the Texans won. Folks, Wint Services, you want to be a winner? Reach out to Wint. Wint can help you with everything from a new plug, a replacement plug, a ground fault plug, to ballast so that you can run LED lighting more efficiently, so that you can have a new generator, Generac generator, Kohler, Cummins, Briggs & Stratton. They've got them all. Honda, you need it. Call them. They've got it.
Any size, any budget.
Atzenhofer and Atzenhofer.com. Today's a great day to peruse via the interweb.
Speaking of any size, any budget, Atzenhofer has you covered. If you're in the market for a
Absolutely.
new vehicle, starter vehicle for a kid, you finally said, you know what? I deserve a luxury vehicle. They can help you find one of those too. Or you want a sports car.
I will tell you that
Corvette sitting in a lot. Very nice.
if you want to start looking at Atzenhofer.com right now, there is no getting around the fact car dealers make deals at the end of the month. Just get by and see
the end, and
Atzenhofer.
the end of the year too.
Absolutely.
I will say this from a service perspective. I had oil change there. You actually called Adela and said, hey, Ash needs an oil change. Can you get him in? They got me in like same day.
She said, absolutely, Mr. Carter.
And she has followed up with me twice to see if everything went okay and if I was happy with my service. So
there you go. Chesnick Furniture. Chesnick and Love make your house a home. Get in and see why you just always do better at Chesnick. Bobby Leon and his family, always giving back to the community, always giving back to you. If you go in, there's always a sale. We've been trying to press some of our sponsors to give us talking points. Bobby's like, just come by and look. We'll make you a deal
absolutely.
on some furniture at Chestnut. Chopping block this week.
Holiday menu, pre-ordering. You can actually win a 10-pound prime rib dinner with the size.
Which is about $1,500
Yeah.
bucks.
Go like their post, tag 3 friends in the comments, and share the post. And at the end of this Saturday, they'll randomly draw a winner to announce it on Facebook. But that includes, they've also got smoked turkeys and all everything you want for the holidays, as does Paravita Wellness. $160, I think, is the cost. I left the flyer in my truck This Thursday's the deadline, and that comes with 2 pounds of turkey and all the trimmings. It's
HR
phenomenal
Mallory, to
value.
the point, in HR, just so you know, which I pulled for the Aggies this week. I did. I talked several of my Aggie friends off the ledge. Go, don't worry, they're going to come back and win. Oh, it's terrible. They're going to come back and win, and they did. And I realize my predictions this year have been, extremely off. Don't look back and lose sight of the
One
fact
thing
that my
that's-
job is to make you talk about it.
You know what's very interesting, though, and this is purely objective observation, is I don't know of another fan base that concerns themselves so much with the fan base of the rival school than Texas
Maybe
A&M.
Michigan and Michigan State. Really, the Spartans hate Michigan.
But they don't. Some of the posts I saw and I'll give you an example over the weekend, made a comment about the halftime score. And it was, well, at least the stands are still full, or at least the fans haven't left after halftime.
Right. I'm torn, and I'll change subjects on you, and I invite any criticism you have. I know these guys UT's not at all nearly as infatuated with A&M as A&M is with Texas, Patrick. Don't kid yourself. The problem I have, you and I have talked about, now that these guys make millions of dollars, some of them, one of them being Arch Manning, they're open game. They're professional
$7
players.
million? Is that what he's making?
He's
this year?
making a bunch of money. The problem I have, the defense that I will give you about Arch Manning is Arch Manning didn't cost Texas that game Saturday night. Arch Manning put up some pretty good numbers if you want to go look at his stat line. But I'll tell you this. He has been the most gracious, patient, team-oriented, quality young man. He has been a dream teammate. He's not driving a Lamborghini. He's been a dream guy in Austin.
He's just wearing Warby Parkers when he could be wearing Ray-Bans.
And there's a part of me that in the same breath that I agree he hasn't lived up to the hype. At least he's not his own hype machine. He's not doing the Johnny Manziel deal, and he's not Spencer Rattler saying, I ought to be in the NFL, I ought to be starting. Jason Rodriguez, Peter McNally can't win the Heisman. Number one, he plays at Texas Tech, and I'm sorry, he doesn't get the exposure he needs and deserves. And number two, he's a linebacker.
Arch
no,
Manning
he's
goes
not gonna get it.
27 to 43, 251, 1-1. Pedestrian effort didn't
Yeah.
cost him the game.
He didn't cost him the game. Solid comment. P. Strauss, per usual, says, hey, Aggies ruined a lot of Horns fans' days with that comeback. I personally was proud of him. And then Georgia really ruined their day, which is
Georgia ruined their day. I don't
Yeah.
think the comeback ruined their day.
I mean,
And as I've said it before, and I think most college football fans that are astute enough know that college football as a whole is better when both the A&M, Aggies, and the Texas Longhorns are competitive and relevant on the national scene.
I agree.
It's
And
just a
the
fact.
Longhorns were the ones letting down the team this year. But, you go back and from 2000 to 2009, of course, we won one championship in there. The Horns won over 100 games in that decade. I mean, hats off. I'm glad the Aggies are 10-0. But we lived there for an entire decade. Now, was it a long time ago? Yeah. Have you ever done it? No. Does it matter now? Not at all. Do you believe? I'll put you on the spot right now. I'll give you a percentage option. So, see, if Texas beats A&M, I think the Aggies fall out of the top four. I do. And if they do, they don't have a bye.
I
And
agree.
that's going to hurt.
I
That's
agree.
going to hurt. So I'll ask you this. With what certainty, first of all, with what percentage certainty would you say Ohio State's going to win the national championship? They've got a what percent chance? Not
50.
50, okay? So with what certainty would you say, same question, Texas A&M is going to win the national championship?
30.
Okay. I think you're high on both. I think I would say that Ohio State probably has a 30% chance to win the national championship, and the Aggies probably have a 15% chance to win the national championship.
I find this interesting. Arch HR Mallory, Arch and Ewers deserve better fans. You're the fan base that ran Connor Wegman out of A&M, and he's having a pretty good year at UH.
And Calzada and Haynes King. I mean, I can name more Aggie players than HR can, and they've run them all off, and they're
King
all
wasn't that great. But
no, but he's a star at Georgia Tech because he can do what he can do. He can run. Yeah, I like A&M. I like their chances. By the way, I think 15% when you've got 12 people in the league, you do the math. That's a pretty good deal because somebody always catches lightning in a bottle. I can prove it to you. Texas will make the NCAA tournament in basketball. They get beat every year. Somebody's always just better. You know? Jonathan Williams points it out. If Mahomes could not win the Heisman at Tech, which, by the way, Mahomes, okay, there was a window maybe for the last 6 years where Mahomes could have gone back to Tech and won the Heisman. The Kansas City Chiefs, the dew is off of their rose.
a little bit.
They are nowhere near the Kansas City Chiefs that dominated football.
Well, you know what happens, though?
Fair, Jonathan Williams, 15% to A&M, Ohio State, 40%, Indiana, 5%.
You know what happens in the NFL? The teams that aren't good go and throw ridiculous money at the backup players off championship teams because they think that makes a difference. And while they're very good depth players, they aren't the difference makers, but it ruins the depth at those championship teams.
Right.
It's a trend that started with the Dallas Cowboys way back.
I
when.
look for the Aggies to continue to do well, and I'll tell you that I made the comment before. I don't know if I made it on the air. I said, I hope that if Texas loses to Georgia, I hope that the Aggies run the table. Now, I have a hard time. I'm not trying to offend Monty Howard or any of my other diehard Longhorn fans. But I will tell you that the Aggies deserve to go into the postseason undefeated. Now, whether they capture that moment or not is on them and their new multi-tens of million-dollar coach. But I think that the Aggies deserve to go through the year 12-0. And by the way, they're playing a very similar schedule to what the Horns played last year when all I got from any of my Aggie friends was, you were gifted the easiest schedule in the history of the SEC. Never knew that such a thing existed until we got that schedule. I thought every week was a grind.
Yeah, I don't know how both things can be true, but they
Yeah.
seem to be.
They seem to
In the
be.
world. I honestly, I don't know this. I mean, this year there's going to be a Heisman winner because they have to name the most valuable. Well,
There's nobody
the
that's
most,
great
but I
in
don't think
college
there's
football
anybody
this year.
just running away with the Heisman this year.
You see anybody except the Rodriguez kid at Tech that's going to be an impact player in the NFL?
Well, I mean, no, not really. And supposedly the front runner is the Mendoza kid at Indiana, and he's looked pedestrian a couple of weeks, but he's got a team that's undefeated. So there you go.
There you have it. Indiana. I mean, they're certainly for real. Did you know that Indiana? So I think they're 11-0. Did you know that's the first time in the history of their program that they're 11-0? Thank God I went to Texas. Be somebody. It's unbelievable. Never? You've never been 11-0?
Guess
Wow.
not. No, guess not.
There you have it. Folks, we've reached the top of the
Oh,
hour.
we have. Jeez, look at that.
No, and look, I'm going to shoot you straight. We don't apologize for the content of the program ever. There was very little news today. Did you have any news?
Peter, I never said the Aggies were toast after the first half. I said they were guilty of looking past this team. It was the trap game.
And
That's
that's
what
true.
I said.
That's true.
That's what I said.
It was true. They were clearly guilty of looking past South Carolina. And I'll tell you this, the fact that happened, maybe not the results on the field, but the fact that they weren't as sharp, that's a coaching problem. Penalties, they're a coaching problem. Missing field goals, can't score from the 5, it's a coaching problem. Either you didn't give them a play to run or something.
No, not the whole show.
Not the whole show.
45 minutes.
Did we have any? Was there any big point we wanted to bring up about politics? We can go an extra minute here on
We
the other
talked about the
teams.
USS Ford in the Caribbean. We talked a little bit about the changes in Britain because they're one step ahead of us. Remember, they're now stopping the surgeries of sex reassignment because they've realized that it doesn't actually do what it was designed to do, and that was to alleviate the mental health issues of kids. who think they're not the sex they were born. In
Yeah.
fact, studies show that the suicide rates don't change.
By the way, that's a parenting issue. See, that's coaching. If your right tackle decides against South Carolina that he's a woman, that's a coaching issue. Marcus Aurelius, with a great quote from Meditations, says, "How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it?" Very
It's a
interesting.
good one to leave you on.
Yep. Have a great day, folks. Be safe on the roads, and we love you.
Pray
Bye,
for Brother
folks.
Gary. Bye, folks.
Yep.